Welcome back to the shed. Today we've got a new type of video. It's going to be called Tool Talk Thursdays, where I'll be reviewing tools in my shop or online. Today we're going to be looking at the Dewalt DW745. So, being that I'm from the UK, I myself have the 240 version of this saw, but they also sell it in 110 because this is a job site saw. It's meant to be taken to sites to cut, boards down on the job, and it's supposed to be portable and easy. I've got it on a stand that Dewalt sold, and it mainly just stays in this one spot. I've got it slightly pushed back into the shed for filming purposes, but it stays where it is, and you'll see that in most of my videos. The tabletops for this saw is 63 centimetres by 57 centimetres, so you've got quite a good space, and it's a cast top, so it's solid. It's got they've got like a friction seal on here that makes boards slide over it easy, and I don't know if you can see, but I've had it for quite a while, so I've got some marks in it from where various things have slid across it. The table saw has this measurement system here for the fence. That is set on a rack and pinion, which I'll show you in a second. But as you can see, your little guide just slides along the tape measure and it gives you accurate measurement for your cut. So you're actually below the tabletop now, just so that you can see the rack and pinion system that the fence slides across them. So it's this little cog here, and then the rod goes through the table saw to the other rail on the back, and that gives a really stable movement and makes sure that the top of the fence is also parallel all the time. So you turn this little knob, you can move along to your measurement, and then there's just a little locking mechanism there, and that fence is really going nowhere, so it is perfectly stable and won't be shifting at all. So now about the fence. The fence is locked at the front and the back by these little screws, so you just place it over and make sure it's the same on the back and push down on those clamps, and that means it's locked in place along this rail. So the only way it moves is by using the rack and pinion system. What I really like about this fence is its thickness and how stable it is. It also has this little piece that comes over the top. If you have smaller pieces of wood or anything like that you can't really get this fence that close to the blade, that will flip over. And if you've got a long board, this will drop down even further to be level with the top to support any pieces of wood that are hanging over the side. So the fence, when it goes along the rack and pinion system, can have a maximum of 23 inches from the right of the blade, and this can actually be swapped over and turned round to the left, and you can get a maximum of 12 inches on the left. So I've got it set up on the right, so I can have, if I want to put a ply board through there and cut it down, I can get a maximum of 23 inches all the way across, which is perfect for sheet material and even small things, just cutting the edges off boards and stuff. And naturally I like being with my strongest hand towards the fence so that I'm not sort of coming across the blade. Another really handy thing about this fence is its push stick holder. So if I'm cutting something and I don't need the push stick right away, so I've got a board or a piece of wood, it's right there. It's really easy to just grab, and even if I've forgotten it, I always know it's gonna be there. So if I'm quickly doing a cut and I think, push stick, it's so close and on hand, it's just really safe and perfect for everyday use. Underneath the tool there's a really nice, easy to use adjustment wheel that raises the table saw up and down. It's really smooth and easy to access just before you make your cut, and I think they got this right. Just behind the height adjustment wheel is this locking lever, and this allows you to tilt the table saw to a 45 degrees, so 0 to 45 degree bevel. Just a quick little note, this is the power switch. It's your standard NVR switch. Every table saw is going to have one, but it's just nice to know where it is. At the back of the table saw now, This is the dust port, so it's 100mm, and some units actually come with a dust port adapter to a standard Hoover size. Mine did not, so I am using this big bulky piece of rubber, and I just sort of jam this in the end, so it's really janky, but it still works really well. I've been quite impressed with how the table saw brings the dust down from the blade and shoots it out the back. So again, another thing they got perfect. So quickly, I wanted to talk about this blade guard. It does its job. It funnels dust out the top, so you can have a dust adapter on that. But there is one model in the UK, and I'll put a picture of it in now, that comes with a clear top, and it has two sides that move. And I just think if they could even sell it as an add-on to this table saw, because I'm pretty sure it attaches in the same way, that'd be good. Because I don't know why they made this out of a dark plastic, because you can't really see through it, and it'd just be nice to see, you know, is your saw cutting the line you want and stuff like that. Moving from the blade guard, I just wanted to show you while that was off how the plate lifts out. There's just this little screw here with a lock-in head on it, and this is down in the blade area. This is where that moves, and you can see the dust bag. So far I've done nothing but praise this saw because they have got so many things right, but there is one thing that really lets it down, and it's this mitre gauge. It's just useless. I've used it maybe twice because it has so much play and it doesn't actually fit in its own mitre slot, and when you're cutting it just wants to move and it wants to budge. If it was in there properly, it would be perfect. It's got clear markings, you know, it's good for adjustment, it's got this metal piece on the front, but other than that it's just useless, and I hate it and I will not use it. So I guess it's to the part now where I would say, would I recommend this saw to anyone? And I would say yes, absolutely. Apart from this crappy mitre saw, it's perfect. It's got a really good fence, the best fence I've seen on the job site saw. You know, when I was looking at the Bosch ones and rigid and all that, and this was perfect. It had the rack and pinion system, clear markings, the blade is good, the top is brilliant. So if you're looking for a small portable saw for your shop and you haven't got much space, I'd say this is perfect. Buy the rolling stand and you can fold it up and tuck it away. I can take it outside. It's really versatile, and I would absolutely 100% recommend this saw to anyone that needs one. So that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and be ready for the next one.